we are going to make plantain brownie muffins today. They're fudgy and delicious, and the plantains have a very neutral flavor, so you don't taste it. What you taste is the fudgy cacao chocolate in them. So I saw Jane Esselstyn, and yes, this has mold on it. It doesn't matter, it's on the outside. This is perfect because we want a very mushy banana. Plantain. This is a plantain banana, and so what I did is Jane Esselstyn's trick of she smushes the banana in the peel, so I've kind of given it a first mushing, and I saw her do it with her mom, and it just blew my mind. Why I didn't think to do that before, I don't know. So I'm gonna have to kind of coax it out of this skin, but because I mushed it, so I'm going to run my fingers across it and pull all this plantain meat out, and I'm going to put it all in my blender. And I'm gonna clean my hands, get it all in there. I'm going to do a double batch today, and some of them I'm going to make spicy because Jay grows cayenne peppers, so we're going to make some of them spicy. So I'm going to make sure and get them nice and mushy. I could do this in the processor, but I don't think that my processor is big enough to handle the double batch without oozing over or me having to make 2 batches. So I'm going to show you what I have here. All I'm doing is mushing the bananas so they get nice and mushy. We're going to just give it a scrape so that they get nice and processed. I'm going to do it again so they become nice and fluffy and so that there's no lumps. Next, I'm going to put my date sugar, since I'm doing it in the process, in the hand blender, or the blender, the Cuisinart blender, and not my processor. I want to make sure that those plantains get nice and ground up. So I'm going to add my date sugar, and I'm actually using a Terra Sol date sugar. It's very fine. Whoops, and it's going to make a mess. So I'm going to go gentle with it. I should have put my shield on it. All right, so I'm going to scrape the sides off. Make sure I don't do that mistake with the cocoa. I'm going to have to go slow. Okay, I'm going to incorporate this in, so I'm going to give it another blend. Bit of scrape. Make sure we get all the plantains incorporated, all of them nicely ground up. If you do it in the processor, you can just process them really well in the beginning. Okay, and now I'm going to add the cocoa, and I'm going to take my blade off so that I do the cocoa and not make a mess. I'm going to add my soy milk, and I'm using Eden Brand's soy milk. It's the only one that I use, really. It has the most protein content, and it's super creamy, so we really love it for all things in our house. I make my own soy yogurt for it as well. I'm going to do this slowly. I'm going to use Quaker oat flour. You could use Bob's Red Mill or whatever brand you like, or you could grind your own. If you take your own whole rolled oats, you just pulse them until fine in a processor, and you can make your own oat flour. I just had that oat flour, so I figured I would do it. And I've actually had these plantains here for a while, trying to get them ripened. And it's been time, but I haven't gotten around to it. Okay, let's put the baking powder in. There we go. I just want to make sure everything gets incorporated. There we go. And now I'm going to take this off, and I might change gloves because my gloves are kind of messy. Or I might just wash them in the sink. Okay, there we go. I'm going to leave some so that Jay can eat some of the goodies. We always save some of the goodies. Okay, so I've got those goodies. And now I'm going to put our milk away. 2 things that I'm going to do different today is I bought a vegan Nutella that is whole foods and plant-based. I did not get it in the United States, so I cannot give you the where to get this, but it is whole foods and plant-based, and it's called Funky Veggie. So I'm going to be putting that inside of some of the muffins. Not all of them. On some of them, you guys know on my recipe that I put 3 chocolate chips either on top or in. I push them in with either a toothpick or I put them on top right around the 10-minute mark when the muffins are almost close to being done. But I'm going to go ahead and put our muffins in here. Look at our batter. I'm going to get more gloves and then I'm going to fill the muffin tin. So on the recipe, it's going to tell you 10 to 12 minutes for a fudgy, delicious brownie-like muffin. But if you want it more like a muffin, like a fluffy muffin, then you leave them a little bit longer, like 15 to 18 minutes. So we are going to, I'm going to use these single silicone cups first. I've tried the paper parchment ones and they do work, but the only problem is that you have to peel them. Give them a little tiny bit of time to peel them from the paper as soon as they get out of the oven. Let them cool just a little bit and then get them off of the paper. If not, the paper will stick to them. So I think wax paper liners would work better. I don't have wax paper liners, and if you don't like using wax paper, then use parchment, but it does stick to the brownies. So you want to make sure and remove them from the liner. That's why I'm using my silicone ones today. So I am going to get a smaller scooper so that I can put a little bit of that Nutella in between, the Funky Veggie Nutella. And I'm going to open up my Funky Veggie. I've got a little spoon here and a bigger spoon I'm going to use. And my intention is this, putting this on the bottom and then making a little dip and putting some of this in here. Just one tiny little bit in here as a dollop that's going to be inside the muffin. So now I'm going to add cayenne to the rest of my batch. Just gonna eyeball it. We're just gonna add a couple dashes. We wanna make sure that it gets spicy enough. And then we're going to add some cayenne cut up with the little seeds. So it's going to be a heat chocolate with the muffins. I'm going to mix it in just so that I know that they're cayenne. I'm gonna put one tiny little cayenne on top of each one. I'm going to put a little bit of the cayenne on top just to let me know that these are the spicy ones. So we know. And I might make a little hole in the middle of these muffins so that I can come in and put a chocolate chip or two on them. All right. So I'm going to put one little ring of cayenne on each one. That way I know that it is the spicy ones. That's it. So now I'm going to put them in the oven. It's at 350 and I want them a little bit fudgy. Oh look, I left one empty. I'm going to leave them a little bit fudgy. So I'm going to do them between 10 and 12 minutes. Into the oven they go. Delicious. I need to leave some for Jay. This is a spicy one. It's really good. I'm at the 10-minute mark, so we are going to put some chocolates on top. I'm going to put a little square of cacao chocolate on top of my muffin, and I'm going to continue to cook my muffins for another couple minutes until they're the fudgy that I want. I already put a dollop of the Funky Veggie Nutella, so I'm not going to put a cacao chip on those because they're going to have the Nutella inside. But these don't have the Nutella inside, so I'm going to give them a little treat of 80% cacao bar of chocolate that doesn't have added oils or refined sugars or sodium. You can find many brands out there, many chocolate makers that honor that. And now I'm going to put them back into the oven for a couple of minutes. Look at that beautiful batch. So I am going to leave my glove on so I don't forget. I'm going to take these. Ooh, let's see if I can get these off without burning myself. So I want to put them on a plate where they're going to cool off and not continue to cook. So I'm going to get them off of this hot pan so they don't continue to cook. And I'm going to go ahead and take these off and put them directly on a stone. And then as soon as they cool off enough for me to manipulate them, I will take them off of the silicone muffin liners. There we go. And here's our cayenne ones. Put this back by the oven. There we go. So we've got our muffins. We've got this muffin. I have to remember that these gloves are not heat proof. There we go. And as soon as they cool off enough, I will take them out of the liners, out of these liners and these liners. And this way they don't stick, although with the silicone muffin liners, they shouldn't stick. And there you go. Plantain fudgy brownie muffins. Try them out. They might surprise you. The plantains are very neutral, and all you taste is the fudgy cacao chocolate.